Welcome to National Sports Chat. This your man's Ken the Guru. You're now tuned in to my take. And before I give you my take, I would like to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get it. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. So this topic is going to be about LeBron James and killing the misconception that this man actually make players better. Now, LeBron James is a 27.1 career point player, right? He's I give him a great of his era, but I just don't think like stats tell a full story, because when you look at LeBron James is a career 7.4 assist type player, 1.6 steals, 7.5 rebounds a game, right? Looks good, sounds good, right? But here's the thing. LeBron James, as most people agree, is a stat pattern. So when you look at his actual production, it don't tell a full story. It didn't tell you about the games that he knew he wasn't going to win, but he was in there constantly trying to score points, constantly trying to get assists, constantly trying to get triple doubles, right? Now, when you compare him to somebody like Jordan, which is why I would never give LeBron James the head nod over Jordan, because they played in two different eras. That's number one. And number two, I believe that Jordan era was much, much, much harder. LeBron James era was like this touch foul era. You see how many and ones he ended up getting, how many bailout calls he ended up getting. I mean, not to say that Jordan didn't get a few, but it wasn't no touch fouls like that. Technical fouls became flagrant ones and flagrant twos. Like the era was much softer. So LeBron James was able to bully his way to basically have the type of career that he had. And it did not help that the fact that the officiating was geared towards him as well. So I'm not one of the people that just say, oh well, man, look at the LeBron James stats, man, they just amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because they are amazing, but I do look at it in context as well. I was a person that was a LeBron James fan, so can't nobody say, oh, you're a LeBron hater. No, I'm being factual. The reason why I actually stopped liking LeBron James is because he did something that I totally disagree with. I'm a person that actually played basketball growing up, and I got a friend that's in the NBA who's playing at the top level, and I'm not going to mention his name in this video, but I looked at it and I'm like, man, I can't follow nobody that doesn't have heart, who want to cheat the game, who want to go to Miami and basically stack the deck to where you minimize competition instead of playing against those people that were your competition, the Dwayne Wades and the Chris Bosh and the Ray Allens. So when LeBron James did that, I actually stopped liking him as a player, because that's not something that Jordan would have done in his era. He didn't leave Chicago Bulls, even though the Detroit Pistons and them was beating them down. He didn't leave. He just worked on getting harder. You know what I'm saying? Did nobody try to leave or go to another team? Yeah, there were other players that were exchangeable, but he stayed there. He grinded out. And another person I can say is Kobe. Kobe was a person, as they started getting beat bad by Phoenix Suns, Kobe showed that he got a team built around him twice, whether it was with Shaq when he came around or when they end up getting Paul Gasol. LeBron James have never shown that he can get a team built around him and win a championship. Even when he went back to Cleveland, they had Kyrie Irving, they had a few other pieces and they end up winning, luckily or whatever. But how do LeBron James makes players better? Because people look at the fact at his stat. Oh, he had this amount of stats. Oh, he had this. He did this, right? But let's look at it in context. LeBron was was naturally or supposed to be a 3. He ended up playing a 1, which takes the guard automatically out of their element, right? So LeBron James ran the point. And this is what a lot of people don't know about LeBron James. LeBron James holds the ball until it's about 5 seconds left on his shot clock, to where if he does pass the ball, right, he leaves the shooter no choice outside of shooting it. So that leaves J.R. Smith, that leaves Kyle Korver, that leaves whoever else that he had, on the team. That leaves them to actually just shoot the ball, and then they're going to have low efficiency. So when you give a player the ball with 5 seconds left, what can you do outside of that? You can't make a move. You had a J.R. Smith who basically create his own shots. So you're taking him out of his element. You're taking the point guard out of his element. And then, like I said, with the softness of the league, he was able to also play bully ball. So when you look at those elements, the assists, you pass the ball, 5 seconds left in the game, then either the person going to make it or miss it. But the higher chance is that he's going to miss the ball, right? But all you need is a person to make 10. Okay, so you get 10, you got 10 in that category. All right, so him playing out of his own element, he end up getting a lot of rebounds, which you got small forwards, power forwards, they get a lot of rebounds and stuff. So he checked the box on that aspect. He gets about 10 there. So now let's look at the scoring aspect. Remember when I told you guys, this guy played bully ball. He was allowed to run full speed, run into players, and they've always 9 times out of 10 gave him the blocking foul instead of it being a charge. So you had all these players that were trying to take charges when it should have went the other way. They rewarded a LeBron James in the duration of his career, right? So when you look at all the things that he have done, he have not made players better. And then I'll tell you this, when you had players like Rodney Hood didn't do better until he got away from them. He ended up going to Portland. He didn't score as many points, but his efficiency was better, right? You had Jay Crowder. When this is actually the season 2017, 2018. When he went to go to Utah, Jay Crowder played much better. They traded him. Remember, they also had Dwayne Wade on that same team. Dwayne Wade, once he left Cleveland that year, 2017, 2018, his production went up. Then you had Isaiah Thomas. When he ended up getting traded to the Lakers, his production went up. So you had a multitude people that play with LeBron James, and let's talk about some of the elite players now, like Brandon Ingram. Ingram was much better after he played with LeBron James. He was much better. Usually, you had Julius Randle, who played much better outside of playing with LeBron James. You had Dwayne Wade, who played much better outside of playing with LeBron James. Kyle Kuzma. You had Ball. You had all these players that done much better when they did not play with LeBron James. And people love to say that LeBron James made players better. But when you had a player like Kevin Love, who when he was playing with the Timberwolves, he was a much better player. Was they winning? No, I give him that aspect. So yeah, you can win games. If you look at the way that LeBron James played, LeBron James was a selfish stat patter. He was a selfish player. He wanted the ball in his hands for the assist. It wasn't just for I want to make the team better. As you can see, this man was literally looking at a piece of paper of his stats because that's the type of person that he is. So he wanted that triple-double. So when you had a point guard that can do just as much as he does, and you take him out of his element, then where does that leave him? So LeBron James, who considered himself as a small forward, right? He didn't allow people to play within their own element. So what are you supposed to do? By default. And what would you say to the players that LeBron James played with? What would you say to them when their production on the team diminished when they played with a person like LeBron James? And then he ended up getting them traded. And it's everybody's fault except for his. I love the stats. The stats look great, but it don't tell a full story. They don't. You know, but I know a lot of people may disagree with this, but hey, man, we just got to look at it. Just look at the 2017, 2018 season alone. All the players that he had. Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas, Rodney Hood, Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, Kyle Korver. Man, they had a team, but they wasn't winning. See, LeBron James played better with players that, you know, that's willing to concede to him. And if you notice, the season where they actually won in Miami, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh conceded to him. Remember? But when you got players, when you got players that actually know how to play the game and not threaten like the Kyrie Irvings, and because he didn't make Kyrie Irving better. Kyrie made the team better. Because without Kyrie Irving, that team goes nowhere. And we know that by the championship when they played against the Golden State Warriors. LeBron James, yes, he did well. Averaged 40, damn near triple-double in the finals. And they end up losing. So, I'll say that, Kyrie was a big part of them losing. But here's the thing. He didn't make Kyrie Irving better. Kyrie Irving was already that guy. Kyrie Irving bailed him out so many times. Just like Ray Allen bailed them out. Bailed them out. They were supposed to lose to the Spurs. But somehow they kicked that ball out. And then, Ray Allen ended up hitting the game tying shot. So, look, man. I'm not trying to sit here and down talk or downplay this guy. I just want to let people know that, look, this man had played with the most superstars in the history of the NBA, right? Lost a lot of championship games, a lot of series. But when he lose, it's everybody else's fault. When he win, it's because of his greatness. Nah, man, we gonna sit here, we gonna separate, we gonna dissect the stuff that, that he does and what makes him great and what doesn't. We're gonna have to let people know where the man has a flaw at. And to me, his biggest flaw is that he's a stat pattern and that he basically did not make other players better because of that. So when he was looking for his extra assist, he's going to hold the ball until, like I said, 5 seconds left, to where the player has no choice but to shoot the ball. That has been LeBron James' career. That has been something that people didn't pay attention to. They look at his greatness and they say, oh, well, LeBron James did all that he could. Man, if the ball is in your hand the majority of the time, then obviously you're going to do some great things. LeBron James just don't pass the ball to pass it to get the ball to the next person, and then the next person create a shot. That hasn't been the case. So I want people to stop saying that LeBron James makes players better. He makes a team better. So I want y'all to know the difference. He makes a team better, but he does not make individual players better. He don't make players better. It's just that a lot of the times he already had a good team. You feel what I'm saying? So by default, they end up being able to withstand certain things. But it's a difference. He makes a team better, not players. But that's all I got for now, man. It's your man, Ken's the Guru. Please follow the page if you haven't already. If you disagree, man, leave a comment in the comment section. And I definitely get back to you. All right, man. I'm out.